Hey world, it's LaDonna and Mark here from Radique Audio.
Hi.
We have a question for you, and we're really hoping that all of our teeming millions of viewers and followers and hopefully subscribers will comment and give us your feedback on this question.
Yes, we have a poll question.
Yes.
This was going to be a bet. We couldn't figure out the terms and conditions of the... I am loud. I'm speaking in... This is a poll question that we are bringing to you guys. This was going to be a bet, but we couldn't agree on the basic foundations of the bet.
The terms of the bet.
Terms of the bet. So now we're bringing it to you, which makes more sense anyway, because you're the ones who are going to be interacting with this entity.
Our newest teammate at Radique, Danielle, is an AI assistant who is helping us with answering our phone calls.
Yes.
So we're not just talking a basic voicemail system like you might deal with when you're calling your utility company or your cable company. Quite a bit more than that, but there are already a couple of questions that have cropped up in terms of the first few interactions our customers have had with Danielle.
And we've had with
Danielle. So the company that we're using for the voicemail is called Ask Benny. Think about 16 different voices and personalities to choose from so far. And they have different regional accents. Lots of different languages are supported as well. It's actually pretty impressive.
It is.
And what I've liked the most so far, the team behind Ask Benny has been incredibly responsive to our feedback, questions, concerns. So often replying in real time within an hour or so.
We weren't going to do a shout out, but shout out to the team at Ask Benny.
Yes, especially to Jordan, who has been already watching our videos too, which is very nice of him. We wish you and the team there all the best. Hope you guys do really well.
Please take anything that we're saying as constructive feedback and not like a criticism.
For sure. If I had my preference, when I'm calling an outside business, I would generally prefer to speak to a person on the phone rather than leave a voicemail or speak to an AI. That would be my first choice. I realize that in real life that almost never happens now. And I can tell you that a lot of the voicemail systems that I do interact with, for example, at Rogers, which is our cable company here in this region, can be incredibly irritating, especially because
they redirect you to their website. Did you know that you could perform all of these things on the website?
Yes.
I can't, and I'm calling because I can't.
Exactly. So I wanted to just sort of set the framework here that we appreciate that it is suboptimal to be dealing with an AI when you call in general. But we're a really small business. There's only really 3 primary people working here right now. We've got our technicians who all work from home. We've got Rosemary who looks after our social media, and Sarah who works from home, and LaDonna and I. So we right now have a virtual number that is capable of ringing the phones for LaDonna, myself, and Sarah. But in reality, we found we were almost never able to answer in real time. People would be tied up with customers or not on their shift. So all these calls going to voicemail, many of them would be lost. And I think we had a lot of people irritated with that process. With our short track record so far with Ask Benny and our new teammate, Danielle, we've actually had
I don't love that you're calling her our new teammate, Danielle.
Well, I'm doing that for emphasis because...
Is Danielle on the payroll?
Yes. She's very inexpensive, but she is indeed on the payroll.
We're gonna like work out the kinks here and make sure that everything is working great. We're not pimping out Danielle just yet.
Sure. We've actually had several really good interactive calls between Danielle and our customers, where I think she's done quite a good job of capturing all of their inquiries and interest and relaying that to us in a really efficient and timely manner, both through email and recordings of the call. So in that sense, that's good. The calls are conversational. One person even asked, is this an AI or did they say robot? Is this a robot? Near the end of the call. And that's just because Danielle is so lifelike that it's not obvious at first. Not that we're hiding that she is an AI. But
yeah, in our newsletter, we mentioned that we were going to be rolling this out.
That's right.
If you're part of our newsletter, you would have already seen this.
Absolutely. Oh, and don't forget, if you want to sign up for our newsletter, please comment to any of our videos newsletter. And Sarah, who is awesome and not an AI, definitely not an AI, we'll follow up with you and make sure that you're added to our newsletter list.
Okay, let's get to it.
Yes.
So our phone doesn't actually ring when Danielle is doing her thing. So we don't know that there was even a phone call until after the fact when we get an email with the actual voice recording. And is there a transcript as well, I guess?
And a succinct summary of the call.
So just now we got another phone call. It was actually a repeat customer. Shout out to Bob.
Hey, Bob. Bob W.
Listening to the actual call, like the recording of the call, there was a part where she asked the level of urgency for either the phone call itself or like the return phone call that Bob wanted. And so Bob was like, you know, there is a bit of time urgency. Danielle said, okay, cool. I'll mark this down as medium urgency, which for me, I didn't like. First of all, if I'm calling somebody, it's high urgency. I'm not calling because take your time and get back to me whenever you can. I would like this to get resolved soon. So you're like trapping me a little bit by saying, what's the urgency of this? People are either going to say, oh, you know, it's fine. Just get back to me when you can. And is that low urgency? I feel like that's medium or moderate. I feel like people are less likely to say, call me immediately. This is critical, blah, blah, blah. So I just found it a little bit not in keeping with conversation or like modern language to ask what the level of urgency is. Mark and I are at odds about this.
I feel myself being really annoyed right now. I'm not really annoyed with LaDonna because I appreciate what she's saying.
Okay.
I often am somewhat annoyed with you, but
thank you for your honesty.
We're absolutely in disagreement about this.
Yes.
So my feeling is, if we're only getting a handful of voicemails a day, it's not as important for us to know how urgent it is from the client's perspective to get a call back or an email back quickly. But I can see as this scales, if we have a dozen voicemails, 25 voicemails, which would be really nice to be that busy with incoming calls, it would be very handy for us, especially honestly for me, because I'm almost always the person who is responsible for calling back customers, or if not a phone call, for emailing back customers. So from my perspective, understanding the client's perceived level of urgency is incredibly useful. Bob, for example, mentioned that he needed to know some of these answers to his questions by next week at the latest. So to me, there is definitely a time frame there, but he didn't need to get a call back today.
But he did say as soon as possible.
Yeah, he also gave his time frame, which is why.
No, he didn't. He
specifically
he gave the time frame for the transaction, but that
doesn't mean
that we should leave it until next Wednesday.
I'm not saying we should, but I'm saying the fact he said he doesn't need to know this information until middle of next week or whatnot.
But he'd like a call back as soon as possible.
Yes. So Danielle parsed that and said, so is it okay for me to mark this as medium urgency? To which Bob said yes.
Medium is nothing.
And I'm taking that
arbitrary.
Well, but for me, it was useful. So anyway, this is the crux of our disagreement. I'm saying I really like the fact that we're trying to quantify the degree of urgency with our calls. Call yesterday from Keith in, I believe in Calgary. When Danielle asked him the same question, he said it is not urgent. So Danielle responded to that. Okay, I will mark this with low urgency.
But what is urgent? Urgent is if I'm in the emergency room and I need an appendectomy.
That's if you're calling for healthcare. That's a fair question.
I know it is.
So from my perspective, something is urgent if somebody is on the verge of making a decision about something on the spot. For example, I'm debating purchasing this product of yours or this alternate product from a competitor of yours.
Sure.
And I need this information today to make that decision. That would be something urgent.
Yes.
Or even if somebody's saying, it's my spouse's birthday tomorrow. I'm wanting to buy them a birthday system.
Why are you leaving it so late?
And I realize I've left this until the last minute, but can I book an appointment to come in and see you guys today or early in the day tomorrow? To me, those things would qualify as urgent, and certainly, honestly, anything. I mean, to your point, if a customer self-identifies their call as urgent, we're not trying to gauge whether it's a legitimate urgent call or not. I just would like to know how they see it themselves. And if they say, yes, it is urgent, and Danielle, in response to that, lets us know you have an urgent issue to respond to me, there's real value in that. But that's my perspective. I also like being able to quantify things. I love having numbers associated with things. I know that LaDonna's less keen on, you are less keen in general on having numbers associated with stuff. You don't like.
I respect numbers. Okay? I just don't understand all of them. Okay. Math is not my strong suit. Ask me to spell something, I can spell it. You want to throw me a math problem, you're going to be waiting a while. And I'm going to not get it right probably.
And that's fair. So
Mark loves to remind me that I'm not good at math.
I don't think I actually said
all the day long. I'm reminded. I get a call. This is an urgent call from Mark. You're bad at math. Click.
I don't think I've ever made that call, but I'm going to start doing so now because it sounds like a good idea.
I'm gonna have you and Danielle just go like that. Level of urgency. Level of urgency.
Okay.
So the question is, when you are calling, do you want to be asked what the level of urgency is for your call? When I take a phone call, I'm able to pick up on the fact that, okay, this is not that urgent, or yes, actually, this could be like an impending, you know what I mean? I don't need to ask.
Okay, but in this case, the whole point is we're not answering. So knowing that we've got a service.
I could glean from Bob's call that it was medium urgency. It was redundant to ask that because you're right, he did mention the time frame. It didn't need to happen right away, but ideally we would get back to him as soon as possible, which is what he asked for. I feel like as soon as possible and medium urgency are conflicting.
I don't feel that they are conflicting. I think that there was an ample opportunity there for Bob to correct Danielle when she said, so if it's okay, I will mark this down as medium urgency for the team. And Bob said, okay, that's fine. He could have easily said, actually, no, can you please mark it down as high urgency? No doubt we'll have other customers in the future.
Now they will, and I hope you guys do. I hope that you correct her and say, actually, it's not medium, it is low. You know, I got to talk to my wife and whatever. Or actually, yes, it's pretty high. I'd like to get this done within this week. So yeah, whatever.
So please, in the comments, let us know how you feel about this. How do you feel about AIs answering your phone call? Do you prefer having a traditional voicemail? Because right now we don't have the option of having a live human answer.
We still do answer phone calls. And
almost never. I would say like 1% of the time prior to this.
Well, now we can't because the phone doesn't even ring.
But when we're using the voicemail system, I would say maybe 1% of the time calls were answered live.
I disagree with that. 1% is insulting to me and to you as well.
I think it's even less than 1%. I think it's probably 1 in 200.
That is
which would be half of 1%.
Guys.
Sometimes these are such frustrating conversations.
Thing that you just said.
No, saying out of all the calls that are made to the business, how many were actually being answered in real time by a human? It was less than 1%.
And I'm disputing that, and we're going to agree to disagree and move on.
Okay, we have no easy way of settling that. Otherwise, there'd be a giant.
Yeah, you can just take my word for it because I'm usually right about these things. But okay.
Related things.
Bets notwithstanding. Relax.
Math, numbers, percentage.
See how I said how he calls me in the middle of the night, telling me that I'm bad at math.
Anyway, sorry you guys for going on about this, but please do tell us in the comments. Yeah. I guess the core question we're having, how do you feel about being asked what the level of urgency of your call is? And being able to quantify that a little bit. We were even discussing we could scale 1 to 5. How urgent
the worst.
Is this?
We're not doing that. Okay.
I'm just saying that would be another option. But right now we're just saying essentially low urgency, medium urgency, high urgency.
When you phrase it like that,
extreme,
it seems silly that we're having a disagreement about this. I'm saying personally, I can't speak for the masses, which is why we're asking this video. If it's anything other than high urgency, I don't know how useful it is. It's like, this is a low urgent. Okay, well, why are you calling that if it's a low urgency? If it's medium urgency, it's probably not. It's probably higher urgency or low. Medium urgency is nothing. I think it's just nothing. High or low.
To me, I think if somebody's calling, it's something important.
Yes.
But the way I see importance and urgency do not necessarily equate. Important reason to call, but it doesn't require response that same day, for example. It could be important, but as long as we reply within the next 2 or 3 days, that's fine.
Called back in the same day.
Keith yesterday said it was not urgent, was marked as low urgency. Okay, we've belabored this. Please give us your feedback. Please also, if you have not yet done so.
Just to recap, we'd like your feedback.
Please don't forget to like and subscribe this content.
We have another video and another actual...
About what? Just tell them what it's about so we're committed.
Why am I feeling bad about this? I packaged up a beautiful custom cherry cabinet, Marantz, for sale weeks ago for a dude on Etsy. That sale got canceled.
A gentleman on Etsy.
He canceled it. He's a dude. That Marantz is now in the box, waiting, ready to go to anybody who wants to buy it and have us ship it to them. But anyway, we're planning on doing an unboxing of that so you can see, I guess, my handiwork and how hard you guys have to struggle to get these things out of their boxes.
How thoroughly packaged it is and what high quality packaging materials we use.
That's how I should have phrased that.
Yes. So that unboxing will be painful because it's kind of representing a bit of wasted effort, lot of wasted effort for
money,
LaDonna and
energy.
The packaging materials. But at least we're going to salvage something from it because we'll be able to show you exactly what it's like to unbox one of our high-end customized stereo receivers.
Or in the time that it takes us to edit and post this video, it could have sold and then we would just ship
That would be nice. So if you're looking for a gorgeous Marantz 2250, fully serviced with a custom cherrywood cabinet.
I spent so much time on that too.
We'll probably have a link somewhere in the comments, I think, to our Etsy ad for that product if you'd like to purchase.
It will hurt me to unbox it. It will hurt me.
Okay. Anything else we should cover? Oh, one last thing. Yes. So our RA twins are now done going through the manufacturing process. We're very excited about them. We've already seen pictures of the very first one that came off of the assembly line, and it's really nice. And so if you have not already done so and you're interested in our promotional price for the RA Twin 2, that's our Radique audio Bluetooth streamer receiver transmitter, please comment RA Twin. And once again, Sarah will get in touch with you to add you to our list for the promotional price.
Yes, she will.
Awesome.
She's good like that.
She's amazing. So thanks everybody for your attention. Take care. Bye, world.
Bye.